no longer take care of themselves? Are you overwhelmed? This is Caregiver Solutions Info with Marcia Teele. Marcia will be hosting an hour of true stories and information, tips and updates of the latest research and necessary information in the caregiving field, focusing on you, the family caregiver. An Alzheimer's disease and dementia care expert, Marcia has 15 years of hands-on experience at Arden Courts, a leader in assisted living dementia communities here in the U.S. Marcia covers everything you need to know as a family caregiver, especially if you care for a loved one with Alzheimer's disease or other related dementia or chronic illness. If you have a friend or relative that is also a family caregiver, call them now. They won't want to miss a minute. And let them know they can watch on caregiversolutions.info. And they can listen on WNN 1470 AM in South Florida or nationally on the iHeartRadio app. Now, sit back, relax, and learn from our host, Marcia Teele, as she brings information to you that may just be the caregiving solution you need.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to Caregiver Solution Info Show. I'm your host, Marcia Teele, and I'm glad that you could join us tonight. We have a truly inspiring story to share with you. You know, we bring on a lot of people onto the show for the last 6 years, people that have expertise in different fields, and people that can give great advice and information to caregivers who are caring for someone with some type of dementia. So we have elder law attorneys, social workers, geriatric care managers, physicians, all kinds of people who have great talents and great passion for what they do that can share their information to help others. And today we have a story that is just as important and just as inspiring, but it has to do with technology and how technology has come to the aid of a new innovation or a new product to help people that are suffering with Alzheimer's disease. So I'm very excited about my special guest tonight. The crux of this is it came across my desk that there is a program that is specially targeted toward high school, middle school, and high schoolers. And this is called a Congressional App Challenge. Now, I had never heard of a Congressional App Challenge before, so I started digging to find out a little bit more about it. And what it is an initiative of the U.S. House of Representatives where members of Congress host contests in their districts for these middle schoolers and high school students, encouraging them to learn to code and inspire them to pursue their careers in computer science. Now, I think that's pretty cool all in itself. It's a nonprofit, the Internet Education Foundation, provides the Congressional App Challenge supplemental staffing and support. And in the 5 years of the Congressional App Challenge, the program has yielded 1,134 apps created by over 25,000 students across 48 states. Now, of course, it's been a long time since I've been in high school, and I don't remember anything like this when I was in school, but I think it's wonderful that we're encouraging young people to get involved and use their technology. And today we're going to talk about two high schoolers that use their passions and their talents and their skills to create something very, very special. So joining me today from Texas, we have two special guests, Vedant Topiavala and Rithvik Ganesh. And hi, fellas. Thank you for being here. Thanks for coming on to the show today.
Thank you for having us, Ms. Teele.
You're very welcome. Oh, we're so excited to have you. Now, Vedant, you are a junior at the School of the Talented and Gifted in Dallas, Texas. And Rithvik, you are also a junior, and you go to the Plano West Senior High School. And you guys, from what I understand, have been friends since grade school, and now you're in high school, you're still friends, and you're staying in touch, but you're doing more than that, you're collaborating. So first of all, I want to say to you guys that this is an exciting topic because to me it warms my heart to see young people getting involved and creating things that are going to be, inspirational for the community. But you guys have really touched my heart when I find out that your focus has been on helping people that are suffering with Alzheimer's disease. And so, as a matter of fact, back in 2020, I want everybody to know that you actually won with two other students who have now gone on and graduated. You won the 2019 Congressional App Challenge, and that was with District 30 in Texas. And congratulations on that. That was very exciting. And but what won for you is your project, and your project was called Al's Buddy. And I just love the fact that you all took this initiative to create something geared toward Alzheimer's. So what was it for both of you that made you want to create something that could help people with Alzheimer's? I mean, what was your inspiration? And you guys just are already impressive to me. But Don, what caused this special topic to be your focus of your app challenge?
Well, first of all, both Ritvik and I had experience. Ritvik, if you want to talk more about your particular experiences, but obviously knowing Alzheimer's disease and the suffering that it brings upon people was really important.
And Ritvik,
Yeah.
what about you? What was this inspiration for you?
Yeah, well, for both of us, both Vedanta and I, we both have a passion for community service. We both applied that at different levels. For me, a big part of this app and making this app was volunteering at a local memory care nursing home called Arbor Hills Memory Care. Just seeing the interactions and interacting with Alzheimer's patients, learning from their stories, that really inspired me to make an app like this, along with Vedanta.
So you were already volunteering when this app challenge came along, and you saw that maybe you could combine your talents with something in the community to help the families and the community at large. And I think that's amazing. Now, the app was, or the actual project, your working project, was called Al's Buddy, and you won this challenge. And you got a lot of accolades for that in your community, and that's great. But now the two of you have partnered up to take it one step further. Tell me about what you're doing now that's been in progress since you won the Congressional App Challenge with Al's Buddy. What have you done since then?
Go ahead, Vedanta.
Vedant, do you want to talk about the new name of the app?
Yes, so Alois is the new name of the app, named after Alois Alzheimer, the German physician who first discovered Alzheimer's disease. And the app has currently 6 modules, which is a big difference from the working version that you talked about, Al's Buddy, which had 3 tabs. These modules include sounds, a game, notes, facts, pictures, and vibrations. And the sounds module, just for starters, has a list of sounds and commercials from the 1960s and 1970s, as well as animal noises. These sounds can help jog the patient's memory and serve as an engaging feature within the application. The game module, recommended to us by a medical professional, improves users' memory and coordination. The module provides the user with a task. Make a certain button within a grid of buttons, a certain color. All of these buttons can be toggled between gray, red, and green to accomplish this task. The notes module will allow patients...
So Vedant, excuse me just a second. So you guys are actually gone from your working model to creating an actual app that someone could access on their phone as something that is a real product, a real service to people, right? So, I mean, this is a real thing now. It's just not an idea or a working model. It is a real thing. And that is exciting because there, as you said, there are so many people that have been affected by Alzheimer's disease and so many more coming along. People, especially caregivers, families, are always looking for something new, some new resource that could help with lots of things with their loved one. And so what I'd like to do is go through those modules, as you will, and talk about what they are and how they can help somebody. If you have an Alzheimer's patient and they have this app and they get logged onto it, how can those different modules actually help them? What do they do for them, and how it interacts? And I think this is really exciting because there are a lot of people out there that need this information because they kind of don't know all the time how to help somebody with Alzheimer's. So we're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, we're going to go into all of those modules and tabs and talk about each one, okay? So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Arden Courts is not just a place to live, it's a place to call home. Residential living combined with quality caregiving. This is the philosophy behind Arden Courts. Communities created exclusively for individuals with Alzheimer's disease and related dementia who would benefit from a safe and structured environment. For additional information about any of the unique services Arden Courts provides, call 888-478-2410 to locate a community nearest you. Inquire about our educational seminars, resource library, or support groups, or simply feel free to ask questions you may have about Alzheimer's and related dementias. At Arden Courts, we know, we understand, and we can help because memory care is all we do. Remember, call 888-478-2410 for additional information about any of the unique services Arden Courts provides. You are listening to your host, Marcia Teele, an Alzheimer's disease and dementia care expert on CareGiverSolutions.info. If you have a question or wish to share a story, call into the show at 888-565-1470 and talk with Marcia. Now, back to Caregiver Solutions.
We're back, and I have two special guests today. They are both high school juniors from Texas, Vedant Topiavala and Rithik Ganesh, and they have created and programmed a special app especially for people that suffer from Alzheimer's. It's very exciting. They've been creating this. They had a challenge through their high school, through the Congress in their district, actually promoted, and they were winners, and now they've gone on to actually make this a working model. So, Rithik, quick question for you. About how long did it take you all to create this? Did you keep track of your hours, or was it after school on the weekends? How much did you work on this?
Yeah, so the latest iteration of the app, Alois, it took us a couple of months, probably I want to say over 6 to 7 months to make just this version of the app. And we've been improving the app over the course of 2 years. It's been a fun process, and we've used all the time we can get after school, during breaks, and invested into making the app.
Wow, you guys are really invested in it for sure. So, Vedant, let's talk a little bit about those features now, because, you know, there are a lot of things that help people with dementia. So it sounds like you've incorporated a lot of those things into your app. So let's go through them and tell me what the app does, you know, and what it's for, and how somebody could benefit. What's the value to someone with dementia?
Sure. As I mentioned earlier, the app has 6 modules: the sound, game, notes, facts, pictures, and vibrations. That sounds module has commercials, animal noises, and other sounds from the 1960s and 70s that help jog the patient's memory. The game module was recommended to us by a medical professional and contains a grid of buttons, and the module will provide a user with a task, which will be making a button a certain color. All of these buttons can be toggled between gray, red, and green to accomplish that task. The Notes module will allow a patient to type in reminders and other messages. It also contains a speech-to-text feature, which is really important for patients who either might not want to type or whose fingers might not be as nimble or adjusted to typing. This module also allows the patient to clear and adjust text easily. Ritvik, if you want to talk about the facts, pictures, and vibrations modules.
Yeah, sure. So beyond those three, and again, all of these are aimed to help serve the Alzheimer's patient. We have a facts page, and all that does is it gives the patient simple facts to help orient themselves, the time, the date, where they are, and then some directions, just where's forward, backward, left, and right. The module that we have is the vibrations, and it's just a simple feature that's really fun and engaging where if you click on it, the phone will literally shake, and it produces around 7 different vibration patterns, and they're all just randomized patterns. The last major feature that we have is the pictures module, where we have different pictures of various world leaders. So you can think of people that were really big in the 60s, like President John F. Kennedy, Martin Luther King Jr., different world leaders, different animals, sports, and different pictures just to show the patient and help remind them of different things and events in their life. So those are the 6 modules of the app.
So the picture one, it pops up, and would that be something that if they were looking at it, they could just kind of remember on their own, or it could actually be used if they had a family member with them to help engage in conversation about something in particular, about back in the day, and they create these memories that they're pulling out of their mind. So it's sort of something that they could possibly relate to from their long-term memory, and then use that as maybe a conversation starter, right?
Yeah, that's exactly right. Actually, when I was at Arbor Hills, I remember sitting down with one of the residents who was a former veteran, and they had different picture albums of places in Vietnam and different countries, and military bases and military equipment, and we would just sit and talk about that. That was kind of what inspired this part of the app. It's just something really simple where family member can sit down. There's a couple of pictures of different events. They can talk about it. It has a label as well of the person, as well as the country that they're from. And it's just a really good talking point, and it's good for one-to-one interactions.
Yeah, I think that's great. Sometimes families don't have access to a family photo album, which is also something good to use and look at family members from years gone by, especially if someone still has that long-term memory and have really a lot of short-term memory. Tell me about the vibration one. I'm curious about why you created one to vibrate. What's the benefit of having different vibrations there?
Oh yeah. So the vibrations feature, it's really designed to just be something that captures all different stimuli for the patient. So there's visual stimuli in the app, there's auditory through the sounds, and now we added vibrations as a touch stimuli. And more than anything, it's just something it's it's meant to engage the patient and just be a unique feature of the app that patients can look at and enjoy. A lot of people that have, that we've experimented and talked to about the app, they've said that those patterns are really soothing. So sometimes just putting your hand on it, it's just something that it can almost be like meditation in a way. It's just very relaxing, and it's just something engaging more than anything. And it's not something that was designed with a clear like scientific purpose. It was just something that we thought would be an interesting addition to the app itself.
Great, great. So a lot of your ideas for the applications and for the different modules obviously came from with you, Ritik, going to the volunteering, to the assisted living and interacting and seeing what people were doing. And I understand, Verdant, you actually spent a lot of time interviewing professionals. Tell me a little bit about what you learned through spending time in interviewing professionals.
So obviously, not only am I learning about those specialties, specifically, but really getting to see patient to doctor or patient to medical professional interactions really helps you visualize how this app could be used. Because obviously they're not going to have the expertise of a doctor, but they will have the same intentions in mind. And furthermore, as we said earlier, the game module was actually recommended to us by one of those medical professionals.
Now, the game module, would you say that was geared towards someone with early stage Alzheimer's, because they have to be able to kind of follow some directions, right? For maybe for more early stage.
Right. So it would be geared towards early stage for precisely the reason that you said. An Alzheimer's patient has to read that task, possibly, make C3 green, and they have to be able to um, just really understand that and press the check answer button.
Okay, good. Now, obviously, some of the other modules are geared for maybe mid-stage Alzheimer's, and then some of them, it sounds like maybe even late stage, like the one with the vibrations, Rithik, that you were talking about. A later stage, that tactile stimulation where people can't really maybe voice or say things or interact with others in a certain way, but the tactile part with the soothing different vibrations. So it sounds like you guys kind of got it covered from early to mid to later stage Alzheimer's in one app. Was that
Yeah,
your
that's a great
intention?
point.
Was that your actual intention, Rafik, or did it just turn out that way?
We the main thing is right. A lot of the other apps that are available are really targeted towards one segment of the population. Our goal was to help all Alzheimer's patients, as many as we could. That's why the apps have, the modules itself have varying functionality levels. As Vedant mentioned, the game one is probably more geared towards early stage patients. But a lot of the other ones with one-to-one assistance are really good, like the pictures and sounds. Those are great for mid to late stages, and we wanted to help as many patients as we could. That's why the app is specifically designed to have diverse, ranges of functionalities.
Okay, so what I hear you saying that there's other apps out there that families use for someone with Alzheimer's, like maybe for music or different things. But what is different is that you all have kind of combined it all into all the different features into one app. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay. That's great. It is important for people to understand the degrees of what someone can do. And so I'm sure that you guys learned a lot about Alzheimer's when you were creating this application. So when we take a quick break here, we're going to go to thank our national sponsor for sponsoring this show. And when we come back, I want to talk about some of your experiences that you've had actually creating this and some of the stories that you have to tell. So we'll be right back, and don't go away.
Feelings of depression, isolation, and frustration are common among persons living with Alzheimer's or related dementias. It's common among those who care for them, too. It takes a lot of patience and courage. It also takes knowing when you can no longer do it alone. At Arden Courts, memory care is all we do. Talk to us. We know. We understand. We can help. Don't let guilt keep you from making the right decision. Visit arden-courts.com. Arden Courts follows equal housing opportunity guidelines.
You are listening to your host, Marcia Teele, an Alzheimer's disease and dementia care expert on CareGiverSolutions.info. If you have a question or wish to share a story, call into the show at 888-565-1470 and talk with Marcia. Now, back to Caregiver Solutions.
We're back, and at this time, I'd like to thank our national sponsor, Arden Courts Memory Care Communities. Arden Courts is a leader when it comes to memory care. They have about 50 memory care assisted livings across the United States. and 10 right here in Florida where I am. They provide a lot of resources for family caregivers besides support groups and seminars. And this is another reason why they're supporting this program, to get that information out, to give caregivers another platform to learn. So if you know somebody that can't go to a support group or doesn't like to go to support groups to learn and to share about what they're going through, or maybe they don't drive or they can't leave their loved one alone to get to a seminar, then this program is great for them because they can listen to it on the iHeartRadio app. They can actually tune in every week on their computer, their smartphone, watch it live, and learn about the disease and learn about resources and help that they need to do and have that ability during their caregiving journey. So today, because you are watching or listening, the special offer is right here. This is called the 36-Hour Day Book. It's a wonderful resource for caregivers. It was written by Dr. Peter Rabins and Nancy Mace, and it's been continually updated. And the updates are there to give you, the consumer, any updated tips, information, anything that can help you. This is a great book. The 36-Hour Day has been called the Caregiver's Bible because they refer to it all the time, and it just shows the caregiver day by day, month by month, and year by year what to expect. If you don't have this book or you know somebody that needs this book, it's going to be absolutely free just for the asking. All you have to do is send an email with your name, address, and telephone number and say, hey, I heard about this free book on the Caregiver Solution Info Show. I'd like to have a copy. So send them an email and send it to delray@arden-courts.com. That's DELRAY at Arden, ARDEN, courts, COURTS.com. And do it right away, do it now, because they are just excited to be able to provide this information to you and send it off right in the mail. So don't delay, get this free book. It's a great book. You can read it cover to cover, or maybe you just want to look something up and just read a chapter. It doesn't matter because it's all good and it's all there just for you. So today we have two special guests joining me. I'm very excited. They are from Texas, and they are juniors in high school. And we are talking to Verdant Tapiavella and Rithik Ganesh. And these two fellas have collaborated together to create a special app or a phone just for people suffering with Alzheimer's. And this is exciting to me because, you know, the young people to get involved in this area is so important. Obviously, they have skills. They are in computer science, and they're working, going to school and working on this, and actually won an award because this is something that was a challenge. It's called the Congressional App Challenge, and it was sponsored by their Texas District 3 representatives, House of Representatives. So that being said, we're talking to the boys about what's next and about the app and how it works. So tell me a little bit more, Rithik. I know that you do a lot of volunteering with Alzheimer's patients in a memory care. What does it feel to do that? What do you get out of it, and why do you volunteer there?
Yeah, well, for me, a lot of it was just seeing we see so many statistics of Alzheimer's disease, over 5 million people have it in the country, but little do we realize that there are real people and families behind that. I thought it would be really cool to just, immerse myself and see, the lives of Alzheimer's patients firsthand. And it was really gratifying. I originally thought that I wouldn't be doing volunteering for that long, but when I was actually at the center, I really enjoyed it and did it, for basically the entire summer, and I'm going to continue to do it, once the pandemic subsides.
So spending time with folks that have memory loss, what are some of the things that you learned that you didn't know before?
Yeah, I guess a big part about it was there's a lot of misconceptions as to what I thought an individual with Alzheimer's disease can remember or what Alzheimer's disease even is. But I realized that a lot of the memories and the big parts of their life are still very much intact, at least from individuals that I'd spoken to who had been diagnosed years ago. They still could tell me, really important family memories. I remember an elderly woman that I'd spoken to. She told me about stories from her cat that she owned almost over 20 or 30 years ago, and it's just these types of small memories that come out that make the process really fun and exciting and motivated both Vedant and I to develop this app, Alois.
Wow, that's great. So when you're volunteering, you do maybe sometimes some one-on-one activities with the residents of the memory care, or do you do group activities, or both? I mean, do you engage with them and you've learned how to communicate with them? And tell me about communicating with somebody. I mean, there's all kinds of stages of memory loss, and so do you have anything in particular that you like to do the most with the residents there at the memory care center?
Yeah, well, especially for the memory care residents with early to middle stage, I just really love to talk with them. I think there's a lot of activities that are there, but when you just talk about, the life stories and their experiences, because they've lived for so much longer than I have, that was the best part about it. And I think sometimes it seems so counterintuitive, it's so simple, but just speaking and talking and engaging with someone is so powerful, and that's the best part. I don't think anything can really beat that.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, and you do learn a lot because they're going way back. They're a lot older than you. They still have those long-term memories. They've lived through history of things that we haven't seen and you haven't seen, and you do learn a lot, and it's pretty amazing, isn't it? And of course,
It's
they're going to
amazing.
love you. They're going to enjoy the time that you spend with them because they like to talk and they like to visit and they like that social interaction. So kudos to you for volunteering and doing that. Um, Vadan, I want to ask you, do you have anything in particular that you've learned by developing this app for Alzheimer's patients that you've learned about Alzheimer's or dementia that you can share with us?
Yeah, sure. So, like Ritvik, I've been surprised by quite a few things, but as he also said, these are real people that, when we see statistics, we see millions of Americans, over 5 million Americans have Alzheimer's disease. We think, well, 5 million, that's a big number. We don't think that that's 5 million people who have this disease that are suffering from this, that need help. In a similar way, a lot of people talk about computer science and how it's going to do X or how it's going to do Y, but we really learned about the importance of the intersection between computer science and medicine through this app and how it can be really successfully applied to solve these medical issues. And as these two fields continue to merge, we believe that this is another critical lesson that we learned during the creation of this app.
So when you all graduate from high school and go on to college, do you intend to stay learning in computer science, both of you?
Sure, I'll go first. For me personally, I know that whatever I will be doing, it will be doing it to help other people. I don't know exactly what area, exactly what specific field I'm planning to go into, but I think something at the intersection, as like Vedant said, of computer science and biology, where you're using, computer solutions to solve, problems in medicine. That's something that's really exciting to me. It's something that I've grown, those skills I've grown while using and developing Alois. I want to plan to continue to develop those skills potentially in college and beyond.
And what about you,
Right.
Vedant? Do you continue to want to learn in that field?
Yep. I want to continue, or I'm gonna continue to have an interest in computer science, but I've been more focused on the biology side of this. So I want to be probably a neurosurgeon or neurologist or something along those lines to continue to help the people such as those who we have helped and will continue to help with this mobile app. Really, the big draw of this is the inherent humanitarianism. As we both said, there are people behind these statistics, and those people are human. We need to help them. So I'm really interested in neurosurgery or something along those lines while preserving that interest in computer science.
Wow. Well, I have hope that one day we'll have a cure for Alzheimer's, and you never know, you two might just be part of that with the biology and the computer science and the neurology and the studies that you plan on doing. So, dream big, go big, right? So I have a question for you, Vedant. If someone wants to get this app and start using it for their family member that has dementia, is it available right now?
Yes, so that's a really good question. So first, well, there are two real main ways to start using this application. One is the more obvious route of if a patient is already in a nursing home and one of the nursing homes that is currently using Alois, they can obviously really easily use it. We've begun to reach out to nursing homes, and we're currently installed in 5 nursing homes in the US and 3 abroad. We've also reached verbal commitments with nursing homes in all 6 major continents to install Alois soon. The second route, which is a very easy route as well, is that the app is also available on the Google Play Store, which is available on all Samsung and Android devices. The app is also available on Kindle, if Rethvik, you want to talk more about that.
Yeah, sure. So as Vedant said, if you have an Android or Samsung device, you can go onto the Google Play Store and download the app as is. It's really good for phones specifically. But if you have a Kindle device, what you can do is you can reach out to us through email, and we'll give you, it's a very simple process, but we'll give you more specific instructions as to how to do that. And the email for us is Alois, which is LOIS, memorycare@gmail.com.
Okay, let's repeat that. It's an email to reach you guys to get information on getting this app to use. And is it free to use?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so it's a free app, and the app is called Alois, ALOIS. And say the email address one more time, Rithvik, please.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just the name of the app, which again is ALOIS, memorycare, all as one word, @gmail.com.
Okay, that's great. So if someone's interested, they can contact you and get it and start using it. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to hear about some updates that the guys have been doing on the Alois app, and it's exciting, and they're just working, and they're magic. So we'll be right back.
Arden Court's memory care community has the expertise and experience to simplify and enhance your loved one's life and to protect you, finding the peace of mind you deserve. Come, see the difference in a facility like Arden Courts that is 100% dedicated to Alzheimer's and dementia care can have on your loved one. Call us at 888-478-2410 or visit our website, arden-courts.com. You are listening to your host, Marcia Teele, an Alzheimer's disease and dementia care expert on CareGiverSolutions.info. If you have a question or wish to share a story, call into the show at 888-565-1470 and talk with Marcia. Now, back to Caregiver Solutions.
These two impressive junior high school students from Texas were talking about a special app that they've created and programmed called Alois, especially for people that have been diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease or other dementias, to help them, to engage them, to stimulate them. And we're talking about that and how people can start using it today. So you guys don't stop. You're always perfecting, always changing. I know that you want to reach as many people as possible, so that actually leads me to ask you, what about people that don't speak English? What are you doing about that?
Yep. Well, that was actually a really important point that one nursing home brought up in particular. Um, that's one that nursing home said many of their seniors didn't understand English very well. Instead, they understood Mandarin Chinese better. So we are currently working to translate the app word for word into both Mandarin Chinese and Spanish with the help of translators. Those versions of the app will be out in the next few weeks.
That's soon. Wow. That's great. That's great. And what other ideas do you have for the app that maybe haven't been put in place that you're thinking you'd like to add? Any other ideas that you're working on? Either one of you have something to share on that?
Yeah, sure. So one big thing that we're thinking about doing is opening the app for caregivers. So making a caregiver side version of the app, so they have better access and connection with the patient. So kind of like a dual pairing where a caregiver and the patient will both have the apps and they can interact and connect through the app itself. Other things we're thinking about are virtual reality applications and other cool ways to increase the interactivity and functionalities of the app.
Great. Now you mentioned a lot of nursing homes have it, but assisted living that have memory care communities, you're targeting them too, right? Both of the memory care for assisted living and for nursing homes. Well, I hope that people are seeing this show tonight and they want to reach out to you, because this would be a great resource, something that they could use as a engaging technique for their patients and for their residents. And I want to thank you guys for being on the program and sharing all of this great information. Um, you know, Curious, I know this takes a lot of your time, but Rithvik, what do you like to do when you're not working on creating computer science apps for people with dementia? What else do you like to do?
Yeah, well, besides that and school, I really enjoy playing basketball with my friends, playing basketball and football. I also like to play the piano and the bassoon, those musical instruments. And other than that, I have an interest kind of in politics, so I like to follow political news in my free time.
Wow, you are a very busy person. And what about you, Vedant? What do you do in your free time, if you have any?
Well, in that same group of playing basketball and football with Rethvik and our friends, and also the news discussions, I enjoy a lot of, obviously volunteering is really fun. Just seeing smiles on other people's faces is just really, really great.
And what about your friends? What do they think? Do they say anything to you about what you've done with this app that you're doing? Do they think you're just a couple of nerdy guys, or are they proud of you, or what do your friends say about this?
Yeah, they were pretty surprised to hear about it. Actually, they heard about it after we had won the Congressional App Challenge, so it was a lot at once for them. Let's put it that way. And they were very surprised, and they were really curious and interested to know about the app. Um, yeah, that was I don't know how Vedant's reactions have gone.
Yeah, pretty much the same. A lot to take in, but also pretty proud.
Pretty proud. Yeah, I would imagine your friends are pretty proud. Now, the Congressional App Challenge, it happens every year, I understand, and you guys are juniors this year. Are you going to again enter the challenge for next year and try to create something new? What's the plan there, Vedant?
Not as of right now. Obviously, if something ever comes up that's just a really really big thing that neither of us can resist, then we will. But right now, the plan is to continue developing alloys and continue getting into the hands of the people who need it the most.
Very, very good. So you guys are going to stay partners and share all of your great skills and interests in this exciting app. I am proud to be able to have you on the program and help spread the word. And that was one reason that I wanted to have you guys here, because I'm, very proud of the young people, the next generation coming up and interested in Alzheimer's disease and doing what you're doing for the good of your community, for the good of the world. It just can't get better than that. So I want to thank you guys for being on the show. This is very, very exciting, and thank you for being here and sharing all that you've done, and best wishes for the future. Thank you, Rithvik. Thank you, Vedant. Have a good evening, and keep doing what you're doing. And everybody, if you want to get more information, again, that email address is aloismemorycare@gmail.com. Did I get it right?
Yes.
Okay, so, and Alois, again, is because of Alois Alzheimer's, who was the German physician who, with the disease, was actually named after. A lot of people don't even know that, so I'm sure that you've already educated a lot of people on this program by bringing that up and saying, well, why is it called Alzheimer's? Well, there was actually a Dr. Alzheimer's, and people are very surprised to learn that. So this is all about sharing and caring, and obviously you guys have done that. So good luck to you. I hope you have much more success in your years to come, and you guys are great. Just keep doing it. Love it. So have a good evening.
You too, and to all the viewers there, a good evening to you as well. Thank you for having us.
Yeah.
Great. Great.
Thank you so much.
So,
Thank you.
You're so welcome. You're so welcome. So, this is exciting to have these young people on the program. They're doing things that are important to them to help create something worthwhile to share. And it happens to be with Alzheimer's in mind and with caregivers in mind. And so I thought how inspiring it would be to have them come and share their story. They're in Texas, and there are lots and lots of congressional app challenges throughout the United States, and these two young men decided that they were going to actually make Alzheimer's their focus. And so we're going to do what we can on our end to help them get the word out and let people have access and to knowledge about this app so they can help. The other thing I want to make sure and share about is the book that we're giving away, the 36-hour day. If you know someone that doesn't have the book, this is makes a great gift, actually. This is the book right here. It is free. It's called the 36-hour day. It's important to learn as much as we can about caregiving, about dementia. Even if you're an extended family member, and maybe you're not the direct caregiver, it's important to learn what the caregiver is going through, because unless you walk in their shoes, you really don't know. And so this book is free for the asking. It's great for extended family. It's great for adult children who live away, and maybe a parent actually has dementia or Alzheimer's. And you want to learn more about it, this is a great book. So in order to get this book, all you have to do is email delray@arden-courts.com, because it is easy as that. And it is something that I highly recommend. Besides tuning into this program every week, we will have another program next Tuesday. You can tune in every Tuesday from 6 to 7 p.m. You can see us on the website, the Caregiver Solutions Info. So it's www.caregiversolutions.info. That's our show. You can hear us on the iHeartRadio app. Just search that on your phone with WNN. It'll bring it right up. And in Southeast Florida, you can hear us on local AM and FM radio programs. So trying to share, trying to care, and it never gets old, because sharing and caring is what it's all about, especially in this pandemic and everyone's having such a difficult time. It's great to be able to see you, and we can see each other via virtual. I don't have to wear the mask, which are, something that we all should still be doing and we need to do. And now more and more people are getting the COVID vaccination, so things are getting better. I know here in Florida, the nursing homes and the assisted livings have all been targeted first to get that first and second COVID vaccine. So things are going pretty well here in Florida. We are encouraged by everything that we see. We see the numbers going down. So we are so encouraged. I hope that you keep being encouraged by programs like this, with things coming down the pike, with young people providing information and resources. So if you do have any questions, if you need an answer for something, send an email to delray@arden-courts.com. If you have a question, if you think, gee, I'd like to know something more. I'd like to know about assisted living. I'd like to know what it costs. I'd like to know how to go about finding an assisted living for memory care. I'd like to know how to get someone to take a shower when they refuse to take a shower. Any question that you have, we can get the answer and have it for you. No question is too small. No question is too big, because it is something that it encompasses a lot. You just never know when you're going to need help. And so we want to reach out and help everyone that we can. So don't forget, tune in to us next week, Tuesday, 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Go to your local Arden Courts if you have one in your area. Arden Courts Memory Care, they are there to help you. They are still there to take residents, even though there's COVID. There's guidelines, and we are still admitting residents and helping families, because you know what? Alzheimer's doesn't stop just because COVID is here. It keeps going and going. And so caregivers are getting even more overwhelmed, staying at home, social distancing, not being able to get out, being isolated. It's getting worse, and we see that the pandemic has made things worse. But there's help and there's hope. So contact your local Arden Courts. You can go to the website, www.arden-courts.com, arden-courts.com. Go to the website. Look in to which area that you live. See if they have an Arden Courts. Hopefully one of the 50 or so are near you, and you can reach out and talk to someone in your community. Learn about all of our other virtual seminars. We have one with Tam Cummings coming up on March 4th, and also again April 1st. There's a whole series, and if you're interested in that, you can ask about that. We'll be happy to send you the invitation to go on to the Zoom meeting and learn about what Tam Cummings does. Her book is called Untangling Alzheimer's Disease. She's excellent, been doing it for many, many years, and she's very good at explaining the differences between Alzheimer's, other dementia, what you need to do, when you need to do it, and how you need to do it. So all of this is for you, the caregiver. So don't despair. There's always hope and help. So reach out anytime. We're here for you. So thank you for joining us tonight. I appreciate you spending the evening, and we'll see you next week on Caregiver Solutions Info Show. Thank you and good night.
Thanks for joining us for this week's Caregiver Solutions with Marcia Teele. Join us next week as Marcia, who has 15 years of Alzheimer's disease and dementia care experience, brings you more needed information to help with the care of your loved one. This show can be seen again on caregiversolutions.info, and questions can be left on the site, which may be used on the program to help others. See you next week.